UDL.
I got kicked out my spot.
Carpool Queen is here.
I can't even battle. He's way bigger than me. I can fight.
Slide up on that.
Couple of All-Americans fighting over a corner of the couch.
Hey, we trying to get the corner right, baby. You know what I'm saying?
Ro is here. It's good to see Ro here on this Friday. It is Friday of LSU Bama week. Does it feel like that?
Fucking weird. Excuse my friend.
No problem.
No,
Yesterday was. Yesterday I saw it popped across my screen. Yesterday was the 20-year anniversary to you setting the all-time passing record versus Alabama.
Tearing their ass up.
Tearing them up. Josh Reed had 1 million catches that day. People forget that he had a 60-yard touchdown that didn't count.
Wiped off, huh?
Yeah, because it was knocked out of his hand.
Out.
He got punched out. But what a game that was. 20 years ago yesterday, Roe and the LSU offense lit Alabama's ass up for over 500 yards of total offense. And still to this day, even after Burrow in 19, still is the passing game record for the LSU crew. This year is it doesn't look like that could happen. But all these players that are missing, Rob. I mean, like yesterday he says crazy, Mason Smith is on crutches all week. Cordell Flott's not going to play. I mean, really and truly, how is this game going to be? I mean, like they don't have
What
any.
do you mean how it's going to be?
They ain't got no players, man. 28 points
20
don't seem like enough. I know
enough?
you.
Rohan knows.
I know you took LSU in your 3-game parlay, but.
Bring that shit up, didn't you? Hey, listen, let's say this. Let's say I was prop to take him.
Right.
Did you hedge it? Did you hedge
Let's
it?
not let everybody think that.
Turn right back around in line.
We're going to profit somewhere.
All right, now I'm going to play with my money.
Yeah. Mikey, you already know, Mikey. Yeah. We're going to profit somewhere off of this. Thank God it wasn't my money. It was really all right.
That's
you know
right.
what I mean? But listen, dude, I've had the, I don't know if it's a privilege or whatever to be over there this week, and it's not pretty.
Yeah, it can't be.
It's not pretty,
Can't
man.
be.
It's
I mean, how many are they going to dress? Sub 55?
Can we dress?
I mean, can you dress?
You can go
dress?
ahead.
I mean,
Can you
dude,
dress?
Shit.
it's
Actually, we need like an offensive line. Can you get like Ben Wilkerson or someone?
All of them.
like, all of them.
All of them.
Wentworth, all of them. It's ugly, man. It's ugly. And then you throw in that you got coaches that don't know what the hell's going on with their future, concentrating more on what's going on with them and their situation at the end of the football season than, the actual what's up next. So it's all that.
Like this is in football terms, this is a scary proposition. Like you're loading up a plane with an unmanned team, and you're going to play maybe the best in the business. I mean, this is some scary shit. Like from a football standpoint, you know what I mean? Like you could potentially you could set the program back a couple of years.
But we've already set the program back. We've set the program back. Anytime you go from 2 years ago at the top of the podium and now to where you are now, basically in survival mode, you've set the program back. And what set the program back is the behavior of our head coach. Not to keep beating a dead horse, but that's what caused the momentum of the program getting set back, because recruits and your own players that you have to recruit, and now going in the homes and talking up a school when you have no credibility behind you. So that's going to be hard, man. It's going to be hard. Standing up in front of a whole football team trying to deliver a message that 75% of the guys know is bullshit.
Yeah.
That's hard, man. So,
What are the other 25 thinking?
guys have to. I mean, you got some that
just want the
genuinely
opportunity.
like. Right? But that's the thing. So the guys that are going out to play this football game, and Mike know this is the same as if it was baseball, and you had all your starters out and people, these injuries coming up and this and that. I mean, these guys have to take it. It's now it's motivation within yourself.
Right.
It's motivation on what you're going to do against. You said it, the best in the damn business.
It's your film.
And guys like 18, guys like 5, guys like 8,
Simone Clark, Jay Ward,
these
DJ
guys,
Ojulari.
you would think the right tackle, Decaculus, or his name,
Deculus.
Deculus, and those guys, you know what I mean?
Sounds like a math class.
those guys, right? Calculus. Those guys, they playing for something. Yeah. You know what I mean? So even the young guys, what are you playing for? And it's pride, man. Like, you going out here against Bama. I hear Coach O trying to talk it up all week. Talking about, is Bama enough said? Is Bama enough said? No,
man.
No, dude. Yeah. And that's what I'm talking about when I say you just don't get it.
Disconnected.
Oh, very disconnected. No, it's too much that's going on for anybody to even think that these guys will go out here and even put up a damn fight. If they go out here and put up a damn fight, it shows the pride and what these guys have in their chest. It don't have nothing to do with what Coach Ed Orgeron is getting up there and saying in front of them right now.
What do you think the message is from Saban to guys like Kendrick Law, Quincy Wiggins, Shaz Preston, all who will be on the sideline tomorrow? Does he have to say anything?
No.
Yeah.
This is the thing. It's not even debatable.
Sure.
You know what I mean? Like, just think about if you were in those guys' position and you see the trajectory and the consistent trajectory of Alabama over the last however many years, going on decades. And then you look at not just this year with LSU, but listen, these guys have more information. They're paying attention more,
accessible,
and they're more dialed in to getting to the league. Let's be real. They're more dialed into that and who's doing that and the process and factories that's putting that out. Not to say LSU isn't, but where we are right now to win a national championship, we're far from that right now. So those guys, of course, they're on the sideline looking at Alabama mop up LSU or whatever it is. It's nothing for them to say. I want to go to a winner.
Yeah.
I have a question. Can I ask, when you get recruited as a football, because baseball and football recruiting are a little bit different. Yeah. What resonates more for you? A guy getting recruited because of like the coach there, or getting recruited because I'm pitching you playing time?
I'm pitching you playing time.
Okay. Because we talk about the recruiting. Like it's going to suffer, but I was like, I don't know how much it's going to suffer because these guys are going to come in and play right away.
Well, the suffering for me, when I say the suffering for me is initially when you have to go up against an Alabama versus an LSU and you're recruiting those top-tier athletes. Right. In my opinion, you won't get them because they're the top-tier athletes. Like, in my opinion, you got to re-recruit Mason Smith. You got to re-recruit him from somebody else coming in, from anybody coming in and snatching him and be like, you don't know who your coach is going to be. I'm talking about the situation right now, all those guys. So the playing time will be attractive to those guys that are saying, you know what, I'm just going to come in. I'm super, super talented. I'm going to come in. They're deficient at the defensive line position. I'm going to go in and be a stud for 2 years and then I'm gone.
Yeah.
Or I could go to Alabama, be a stud for 2 years, and also win and play in the national championship.
Or not play.
Or I'm gone. You know what I mean?
Or not play, though.
Or not play.
Yeah, because the guys are behind,
And then, or I could look at it and say, because some of these guys are like this too, where are they developing them? I could be like a Jalen Hurts, a Tua Tagovailoa, and the guy that left now. Like, can I go there and still be a first-round draft pick? Even if I go and I know it's going to be this 5-star, that 5-star, that 5-star, that 5-star. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I guess it's according, Mike, to what's inside that athlete's chest. Right. Do you want to go to a lesser and be the dominant guy and breeze through it 2 years potentially? Or go where I know I'm definitely going to go to the league. I'm definitely going to get developed. My stay in the NFL is going to be longer because I am underneath a coach that knows how to develop and has a proven track record and so on and so forth.
I get you. I get that.
This thing has been open for 3 weeks. All 3 weeks, Jimbo Fisher's name seems to be at the top of the list. 20 years ago when y'all set that record, he was calling the plays to what you were executing. I'm not asking you for inside information, but again, here we are another week talking about his name being involved.
Yeah, I think it's very much so involved because it's very much so credible.
So it's real.
It's real. Nothing, and let me be clear, it's nothing that I've heard. It's nothing that I've spoken to anyone, but, well, it is I've spoken to someone.
Oh, I love that.
Thank you.
But it is very much a thing.
It's very real.
It's a thing. Yeah, it's a thing. It's a thing. And it's something that I think if it's at all any way for it to plant some seeds and grow, with who's involved, it's gonna plant some seeds and grow.
So that's your pick. He's your pick?
He would be my pick.
Okay.
if you get a guy like him, can you salvage 2022's recruiting class? Can you keep it together?
I don't know, because, this is the thing, man. We all recruit the same people.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's all still going to be based on whatever relationship he has with these players that he's now recruiting at A&M that are crossing over to LSU or whatever it may be. But all recruiting is relationships. That's all it is. And it doesn't matter if you're at this school, that school, or another school. If you're a 4 or 5 star, everybody goes after the same pool of talent. That's why you hear about them losing this D lineman to Alabama or the LSU or this and that. So it's all about relationships. So even when these guys choose to go to another university, it's not like these recruiters just stop talking to them.
Yeah.
They don't stop talking to them. They especially now with the inception of the transfer portal.
Yeah. Miles Brennan said that earlier this week.
Yeah.
Brian Fletcher Painting. Remember Fletcher Painting when Rohan is here. It is compliments of Fletcher Painting. All of the historic places you've seen around Baton Rouge. Odds are Fletcher Painting, that is his work. He works directly with the architects on custom designs and projects in and around the capital city. Check out Fletcher Painting on Facebook, on social media. And every time you see Ro here on the set of the UDL, it is compliments of Fletcher Painting. Odell Beckham Jr. was just released by the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, wow.
What would you say would be next for him?
Oh, wow.
Does Odell still have Odell in him? Does he?
Cincinnati. Cincinnati or New Orleans.
Yeah.
Does Cincinnati need Odell, though?
I don't think so,
Yeah.
but I think Joe would want him.
Yeah, just
Well,
one more piece.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
think Joe, sometimes, dude, when you go somewhere where you're just like familiar and it'll be an LSU guy and an LSU guy. Like when I was in New England, it was the most calmest thing, dude, to walk in that fucking locker room and see Kev and Jarvis and Blue and Big Marquise Hill, and knowing that Bill had a relationship with Coach Saban, and like it was just calming to see guys you could go to their house and chill with and don't have to make friends and all that bullshit. It was cool as hell. So it rejuvenates. You go to practice happy. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I'm sure, like, wherever I still think he got game in him.
Yeah, but the thing about it, him and Jarvis are best friends.
Yeah.
And he's with them right now.
Yeah, you got a point there. You do have a great point there.
I don't know. It may be like maybe the Baker thing with him. Maybe that's a thing.
Maybe.
It could be.
No,
do you see that with Baker?
I don't.
Like,
I
as
don't
a quarterback,
know Baker, but I do know Odell a little. And listen, and I see their personalities, and they definitely, I can see how they can clash now. Both of them having the enigmatic personalities. Baker seems to be somewhat of not of a friendlier quarterback guy. You know what I mean? Like he looks like he has a little hot head in there. To him.
Yeah.
So I could see how that wouldn't be perceived nicely by someone like an Odell. You know what I mean?
Saints would be a great fit.
I think Saints would be good right now.
Anybody like him?
I mean, and Mike
Nobody
Thomas
can take the top off.
Mike Thomas is out for the season.
I think he'll be a good fit. I mean, honestly, man, I think he'll be a good fit anywhere if you get in the Odell that you know. I still think the dude got a lot of football in him, man. I still think he has a lot of football in him. It's just whether it's confidence or whether it's him and Baker. I definitely know it's something between him and Baker. Not freaking, but I think the Saints would be beautiful.
Yeah, that would
be back home. I think it'd be nice.
Those injuries don't concern you at all because ever since he looks like he's tried to change his body a little bit to where he tried to thicken up his bottom half, where he looks like because we just had a broken ankle and then he tore an ACL and it looked. I was listening to somebody talk yesterday that used to play in the NFL and he said the reason he's kind of dropping balls now because it feels like he doesn't have any juice left in his legs. And that's because he feels like he can't catch it and go. And so it's kind of changed the way he wants to play the position because what's Odell always been able to do.
Well,
as soon as you catch that thing, he's gone.
If you could explode off the line of scrimmage from a dead start and get into your route and get in and out of cuts, I don't know what the problem would be with him catching the football and then accelerating after the catch. And with him, whether or not he's lost a step or hasn't lost a step, okay, he can no longer run a 4.3. Now he runs a 4.4. So, a lot of football and sports, man. Yes, it's injuries, but a lot of it is confidence in what you're doing and confidence in who you're doing it with. So I wouldn't say that the deceleration or acceleration is the biggest factor. I think is where he is.
F3 Elite, a lot of exciting things happening right now as the high school football season kind of calms down. That's when the 7-on-7 season really kind of picks up. I know we're gearing for a lot of exciting stuff over at F3 coming up here. It should be cranking up here in the next couple of weeks, huh?
Yeah, man, we're getting ready to crank up with the youth, our 10s, 14s, and our 12 youth tryouts coming up at Lamar. I think it's on the 11th of December. I think is our first youth, and then our first tournament will actually be the second week in January at Lamar. We got 5 tournaments, at Lamar at Lamar this year. Bunch of out of town teams coming from Dallas, from Texas, Mississippi, the surrounding South, Louisville. And just trying to get it kicked off in a bigger way going into year 3. You know this, Jordy, because you're one of our premier board members. So, man, we have a lot of things coming up. The youth are getting excited. We had, a lot of guys the other night. I'm just thinking about, the Woodlawn Catholic game. And last night I had a chance to go watch Zachary and in the Austin Osbury.
Yeah, I saw you had the Under Armour.
Yeah,
invite.
Man, it was exciting for him to get his All-American selection. And a guy that's been in our organization all 3 years. Everyone's tried to solicit him to come over to play for him. Teams offered to fly him in from out of town just to play for weekends, and he stayed 10 toes down with us. So Austin's one of our bright guys that's been with us from day one, and we just super proud of him. And then just a hard worker, man. If you see him from day one, just training and working and getting better and working on his body, working on his speed, dropped his speed from like a 4.5 to a low 4.4, like just everything that he's gotten, he's worked for.
Yeah.
And it's even better that way, when you get it out the mud like he has, so to speak. So it's exciting to see him get that recognition.
I have seen University High play twice this season, once versus Madison Prep a couple of weeks back at Olympia, and then earlier this season, Roe and I went and watched them play Woodlawn at U High, and Austin Osbury and that defense jump off. Everybody talks about Jaden Osbury, which you can see it. He is going to be he's a 5-star. He's going to be a guy that's going to be a headliner. But, Austin kind of keeps them steady.
He's the glue.
He is the glue, man.
He's the glue. He's the one guy that you could put him on anybody, and it's a done deal.
It is.
I don't care who you is.
They did that against Madison Prep.
They
put him on Dave.
It's a done deal.
They put him on Dave.
Shut down.
Yep. Him and
2
Dave are going
F3
back
guys.
at it. A couple of dogs. You can see it.
Two
they
of
were
our guys back
caged up. This is a tweet that Shea Dixon just put out 13 minutes ago, and this is telling. We'll sign off of here this week with LSU Bama. Roe and I will be doing some work tomorrow for LSU Bama. We'll be here at the UDL watching college football. We'll be around cooking and hanging. So make sure that you set your alerts. Everybody invited back over here to the UDL to watch tomorrow, and we'll have some post-game reaction for you.
All the followers?
Chat?
Yeah, the room.
I'm just joking.
The room.
I'm just joking.
But 13 minutes ago, check out this tweet. Shea Dixon.
Depends on what you put in that super chat.
LSU, yes, and shout out to Cody Boudreaux.
Doing it up.
My guy. But Shea Dixon tweeted this 13 minutes ago, and this is telling. LSU has signed 8 5-stars since 2019. There's a good chance that 0 will play against Alabama tomorrow. Mason Smith is very questionable, dealing with something that has him on crutches this week. Derek Stingley is out. Eli Ricks is out. Keyshawn Butte is out. Sage Ryan is out. John Emery is ineligible. Arik Gilbert has transferred, and Marcel Brooks is at TCU. That is the 8 5-star players that LSU has signed since 2019, and none of them, 0, possibly, with Mason Smith only being the outlier if he can get healthy from in between now and tomorrow. Can get him on the field. So
that's looking good, bro.
That's how you get here. That's how you go. That's how you go 20. That's how you are a 28.5 point underdog to Alabama. All right, for everybody watching, we appreciate it. Make sure and hit the like and share. Thank you for being there to Go Chevrolet. For Roe, for Matuk, for Lloyd, for Jordan, for Katie, for everybody here on the Jordy Culotta Show. We will see you tomorrow. Make sure and have your alerts set and notified for us cranking up some content tomorrow. Have a good Friday. We'll be back with you tomorrow afternoon.
That's crazy.